So I'm back from break, and now we're at Kaggle's Pandas courses, grouping and sorting. There we are. We're going to scale up our level of insight. The more complex the data set, the more this matters, turns out. Well, yeah, grouping and sorting, of course. So let's go. So here's the introduction. Maps allow us to transform data in a data frame or series one value at a time for an entire column. True. True. However, often we want to group our data and then do something specific to the group the data's in. I could see why. I can't really see why. But I guess I'll take their word for it. All right. As we'll learn, we do this with the group by operation. We'll also cover some additional topics, such as more complex ways to index our data frames, along with how to sort our data. All right. We can click this if we want to get the exercise. I'm not going to do that, though. We'll do the exercise later. Let's go on a group-wise analysis. One function we've been using heavily thus far is the value counts function. Pardon me. We can replicate what value counts does by doing the following, right? We've got reviews.groupby points in a string, right? And then we've got .points.count, right? So this part here is getting all these numbers, like all the 80s, all the wines with 80 points, all the wines with 81 points, and then we're doing a count right here, a points.count. It's going through all the wines with points in them and assigning the count via the group or something like that. We'll keep going. Let's see. Group by created a group of reviews which allotted the same point values to the given wine. So basically it grouped them by the points, all right, by the specific point values. Then for each of these groups, right, by the point value, right? Then where are we? Then for each of these groups, we grabbed the points column, like we set up there, and counted how many times it appears. True. All right, so value counts is just a shortcut to this group by operation. So value counts is just a method with that stuff already in it. There we go. So we can use any of the summary functions we've used before with this data. For example, to get the cheapest wine in each point value category, we can do the following. So we would do the group by stuff right here. Then we would do .price.min, right? And so it goes through each of the 80s, finds the minimum price. Each of the 81s finds the minimum price, all the way up to 100, and there we go. $80, come on, man. That's like 5 glasses. That's like $20. That's like not $20. It's like $15 a glass. No, 16. I don't know math. Whatever. Let's go. It's $18 a glass. I don't know. I don't remember. We can think of each group we generate as being a slice of our data frame containing only data with values that match. Let's say that again, because I'm thinking about wine. We can think of each group we generate as being a slice of our data frame containing only data with values that match. Okay, so it's a group that's a slice of the data frame. Makes sense with all the data that matches. True. All right, this data frame is accessible to us directly using the apply method. Okay, and we can then manipulate the data in any way we see fit. Okay. For example, here's one way of selecting the name of the first wine reviewed from each winery in the data set. So we can do the reviews.groupby. This time we're doing by winery, like 1 + 1 = 3. Okay. And then we do the apply method on that, have the lambda function with data frame. And then we're going to say on each one of these data frames, because I guess each one of these is a data frame. Okay. We're going to say title.iloc0. So whatever the first title is for each one of these groups. For that, it's going for this 1 + 1 = 3. It's this NV Rosé Sparkling from Cava. Okay. And then we've got the 10 knots 2010 Wagner. Okay. And so on. I don't know if that's how you say that word clearly. So for even more fine-grained control, we can also group by more than one column. True. All right. For an example, here's how we would pick out the best wine by country and province. All right. So reviews.groupby, and instead of a single string, we've got this list with 2 strings in it, or as many as we want, I would imagine. And then .apply lambda DataFrame, DataFrame.lock, and then instead of at 0, we're looking for the DataFrame.points.id max. The best wine by country and province. ID points.id max. Oh yeah, it's the points. It's not like a okay. So yeah, whatever the highest point value is, that's what this is. Why isn't it max though? Why wouldn't it be? Because the other one was min, right? Maybe IDX max is how we do max, and max is something else. I don't know. Who knows? All right, we'll figure that out later. So we can see here it's grouping it by countries first, and then inside of each country we're getting each province, right? And then we just go, what's going on here? Oh, yeah. It's the best one for each province. So we've got 97, 95, 87 on this one. Uruguay's got a 91 right here. And there we go. So another group by method worth mentioning is ag. So it's ag for aggregate. If you don't know what aggregate means, aggregate definition. It's a whole formed by combining several elements, okay? So it's like this element length, the element min, and the element max. That's what the aggregate is. So, which lets us run a bunch of different functions on our data frame simultaneously. For example, we can generate a simple statistical summary of the data sets as follows, right? So we've got reviews.group by country. I don't know why they put it in a list. I think maybe they're just demonstrating that we could do this if we messed up or whatever, or like if we thought we were going to have a bunch of comma separated values but didn't, we don't have to take this out. Maybe that's what they're getting at. I don't know. Anyway, .price.ag, and then we've got length, min, and max right there. And so we've got country, Argentina, length. There's 3,800 different wines here. The minimum price is the minimum price is 4, and the maximum price is 230. Why is it max on this one and not IDX max? I don't know. And then we got Armenia right here, all the way down to Uruguay right here. Turns out Armenians only got 2 wines. Hey, whatever. That they reviewed. Remember this, that they reviewed. So effective use of group by will allow us to do lots of really powerful things with our data set. I believe it, but this is probably something we got to get good at. But we'll figure that out later. So we've got multi-indexes here. In all of the examples we've seen thus far, we've been working with data frames or series objects with a single label index. True. Group by is slightly different in the fact that depending on the operation we run, it will sometimes result in what is called a multi-index, okay? A multi-index differs from a regular index in that it has multiple levels. For example, countries reviewed equals this. We've got these two by countries and province. Dot description dot ag length. So all the I don't know why we would have to do that. I guess why not just .len? I guess they're just showing us that we could do it like this if we wanted to. I guess that's what it is. I don't know. So we're doing that, and then when we see countries reviewed, we can see we've got Argentina with the Mendoza province, and then the other provinces. Mendoza makes a lot of wines, huh? And then we've got the San Jose province and Uruguay with 3, and then Uruguay itself, the rest of Uruguay with 24 wines, okay? So when we say MI equals countries reviewed dot index and then type of MI, we can see that countries reviewed dot index is a multi-index. Pandas.core.indexes.multi.multi-index, okay? I guess that's what it's saying. And there we go. All right, cool. All right, let's look at sorting. So looking again at countries reviewed, we can see that, did I miss something? I did. Here it is. What did we do? Anyway, whatever. I missed this part. So multi-indices have several methods for dealing with their tiered structure, which are absent for single level indices. Several methods for dealing with their tiered structures. So there's a lot of methods for dealing with this. Okay. They also require 2 levels of labels to retrieve a value. Okay. Dealing with a multi-index output is a common gotcha for users new to Panda. I guess so. We'll have to see. And they're not explaining it either, but whatever. The use cases for a multi-index are detailed alongside instructions on using them in the multi-index advanced advanced selection section. So this place. All right, we'll deal with that later. So that's where that is. However, in general, the multi-index method we will use most often is the one for converting back to a regular index, okay? The reset index method. So if we do countries.reviewed, which remember, right now it looks like this, right? If we do countries.reviewed.reset index, it'll come back here. So instead of having Argentina grouped up and then having just Argentina one time and then having all its provinces, we can see it's Argentina, Mendoza province, Argentina other, Uruguay, San Jose, and what have you, all right? So now we got sorting. We're on to the next part. So looking again at countries reviewed, we can see that grouping returns data in index order and not in value order. True. Even though it is all in, well, no, actually, let's look again. I guess not. Okay. Even though it's in alphabetical order, it's actually still in index order too. Like this would be index 0 all the way down, right? All right, here we go. That is to say, when outputting the result of a group by, the order of the rows is dependent on the values of the index, not the data. Okay, so it's just going to be sorted by index and not like alphabetically, or unless it's already in alphabetical order, of course, but not like if it's not going to be alphabetical, right? To get data in the order, to get data in the order we want it in, we can sort it ourselves. The sort values method is handy for this. I believe it. So we've got countries reviewed equals, and remember we already reset this back, right? So this is how it was. This is how the data frame originally was. So we got countries reviewed equals countries reviewed dot reset index. Okay, so we reset it again for some reason, and then we've got countries reviewed dot sort values by Lin. Right. So we can see that brings Greece, the province Muscat of Kefalonian, which only has one wine, is at the top. And then we've got Greece, Australia, this one, a lot of, and we've got Washington with a bunch, and then California with an excessive amount. But whatever. I mean, if that's a lot of wines, that's a lot of different wines. Wine's big business, though. All right, so sort values. Let's go to do this. And this is sorted. Remember, this is sorted by length. So however many per province, how many wines per province this place has. All right, there we go. Sort values. So sort values defaults to an ascending sort where the lowest value goes first. Yeah, like we see up here, Greece is first. The Muscat of Kefalonian is first. Pardon me. However, most of the time we want a descending sort, I believe it, where the higher numbers go first. So that goes thusly. Same thing. Instead of just by Lin, we have the by Lin, comma, ascending equals false. Right? So it's the same as this, but we have this ascending equals false. There we go. And we can see California's at the top. And you can see that these are different. And it's probably because, just like in JavaScript, objects don't really have an order. They just get slapped in there however they feel like. And in this case, they slapped it in here with Chile and a different province in Greece than they did on this one. Whatever. All right. I'm sure if we ran it again, if we ran this again, it would be two different names at the top. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe. All right, let's go. So to sort by index values, we're going to use the companion method, sort index. This method has the same arguments and default order. So this is to resort it. So remember, countries reviewed is now in this order, right? Because we did that here. But now we're saying countries reviewed.sort index. We put it back in the original order like that. All right. Finally, we need to know that we can sort by more than one column at a time. So we've got countries review.sort values by, and now we've got countries and length. Okay, so we've got the countries first. We've got Argentina other. Here's the shorter length, and then Argentina, and then here's the longer length, and then same with Uruguay right here. And Argentina is at the front because it starts with A, and Uruguay at the back because it starts with U, right? Of course. Let's go. And that's the end of that. So let's go to the next page right here. So now we're on to the exercise for grouping and sorting. And we'll see you next time.